This is a TLC recording. Terrifying Tinder encounters. Today I messed up by swiping right. A Tinder horror story. Hey guys, buckle up, because I've got a Tinder tale that's straight out of a nightmare. I'm writing this with a mix of disbelief and sheer horror, hoping that my misadventure serves as a cautionary tale for all you online daters out there. This happened just a couple of days ago, and I still can't believe my luck. So I matched with this guy, let's call him Alex, on Tinder. His profile seemed legit. Decent photos, a witty bio, and common interests that made me think we'd hit it off. After a week of chatting, we decided to meet up for coffee at a local spot downtown. I was cautiously optimistic, but little did I know I was walking straight into a dumpster fire of a situation. We agreed to meet at a popular coffee shop, and as I walked in, I saw him sitting at a corner table. Initial impressions? Not bad. He looked like his pictures. Maybe even a tad better. We exchanged pleasantries, ordered our drinks, and sat down to chat. The conversation was going well, and I started to relax. Alex was charming, cracking jokes, and we seemed to have a genuine connection. As the caffeine kicked in, we decided to take our conversation for a stroll, literally. We left the coffee shop and headed towards a nearby park. That's when things took an unexpected nosedive. As we strolled through the park, I noticed a peculiar intensity in Alex's gaze. It wasn't the charming look he'd been giving me earlier. It was more like he was sizing me up. I brushed it off, thinking maybe he was just nervous or trying to make a move. Little did I know I was about to be the unwitting participant in someone else's drama. Out of nowhere, a woman appeared on the path ahead, and her eyes were locked onto us. Alex's demeanor shifted instantly. His charming smile faded into a look of sheer panic. My internal alarm bells started blaring as the woman approached us with a look of furious determination. "Alex, seriously? You're just going to act like everything's fine?" she shouted, drawing the attention of everyone nearby. I'm standing there like a deer caught in headlights, trying to process what's happening. Alex is stammering, attempting to offer some feeble explanation. The woman, let's call her Rachel, was having none of it. She unleashed a torrent of accusations, revealing that she was, in fact, Alex's ex-girlfriend, and they had broken up just weeks ago. I'm standing there, mouth agape, as their heated argument unfolds in front of me. It turns out that Alex had been less than honest about the timeline of their breakup and his current dating endeavors. Rachel accused him of betrayal, of moving on too quickly, and I'm just standing there, a total bystander who stumbled into this mess. I wanted to disappear. I wanted the ground to swallow me whole. But no, the universe had other plans. As their argument reached its climax, Alex turned to me, desperation in his eyes, and said, "This is all a big misunderstanding. Can we talk about it back at your place?" Honestly, at that point, I just wanted to run away and pretend this never happened. But I, against my better judgment, agreed to at least accompany them to a nearby bench. What transpired next was like a soap opera episode, and I was trapped in the middle of it. Rachel unleashed her side of the story. The heartbreak, the lies, the promises he had broken. Alex, on the other hand, was desperately trying to salvage the situation, offering apologies that seemed more rehearsed than sincere. I felt like I was in an episode of Jerry Springer or some twisted reality TV show. Finally, Rachel had had enough. She stood up, wiped away her tears, and declared, "I'm done with you, Alex. I deserve better." And right before she had walked away, leaving Alex looking defeated, she turned to me and said, "You better hope that I never find you." I couldn't get away fast enough. I mumbled some excuse about needing to go and practically sprinted out of that park. As I walked away, I couldn't help but replay the entire disastrous encounter in my head. How had I ended up in the middle of a breakup battle on a first date? The next few days were a whirlwind of emotions. I ghosted Alex. No surprise there. But Rachel's words echoed in my mind. What if he had lied to me too? Was anything he said genuine? It felt like I had dodged a bullet, but the experience left me with a profound sense of wariness about online dating and an intense fear of ever coming face to face with his ex again. There were nights when I thought I heard knocks on my front door. I kept my blinds closed, and I never answered phone calls from an unknown number again. So, here's my cautionary tale. Be careful who you swipe right on, and always trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. And if your date's ex shows up out of the blue, just run. Trust me, it's not worth the drama. TLDR, Tinder date seemed great until his ex-girlfriend crashed our date, revealing a web of lies and drama I never signed up for. Online dating can be a wild ride, folks. Today I messed up by inviting a Tinder date to my house. Hey guys, I need to share this terrifying experience I had recently, and I can't shake the feeling that I narrowly escaped a potentially dangerous situation. I'll preface this by saying that online dating can be a risky game, and sometimes you just can't predict the kind of people you might encounter. So, a few days ago, I matched with this guy on Tinder. Let's call him Mark. Mark seemed charming, had a good sense of humor, and after chatting for a while, we decided to meet up at my place. Yeah, I know, inviting a Tinder date home is generally a bad idea, but in the excitement of a potential connection, I threw caution to the wind. Mark arrived, and at first, everything seemed fine. We talked, watched a movie, and I even made us dinner. It was just a typical date night until I started feeling oddly lightheaded. Now, I've had my fair share of nervous first date jitters, but this was different. My limbs felt heavy, and my head was spinning. Concerned about what was happening, I excused myself to the bathroom, hoping a moment alone would help me shake off the strange sensation. As I locked the bathroom door behind me, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was seriously wrong. That's when I noticed my phone buzzing with a call from my boyfriend. Yeah, I'm in a relationship and I messed up big time by not mentioning it to Mark. I answered in a panic, explaining the situation and apologizing for my lapse in judgment. But as I spoke, the situation took a sinister turn. As I glanced back towards the closed bathroom door, I heard Mark's voice change from friendly to something darker. It sent shivers down my spine. I realized that something was seriously off about him, and the feeling in the pit of my stomach intensified. My boyfriend, sensing the urgency in my voice, suggested I call the cops immediately. I hung up and dialed 911, explaining the situation as quietly as possible. My heart pounded as I heard Mark pacing outside the bathroom, and it became clear that I needed help. Fast. The dispatcher assured me that officers were on the way, but I couldn't wait for them to arrive. I needed to take action. In a bold move, I opened the bathroom window and climbed onto the roof. It was a risky move, but my safety was my top priority. From my perch on the roof, I could hear Mark searching the house, and panic set in. I whispered my location to the dispatcher, praying that the police would arrive before Mark discovered my escape. My boyfriend, still on the other line, was texting me, urging me to stay calm, but the fear was overwhelming. Finally, the distant wail of sirens reached my ears. The cavalry was on its way. As the police pulled into my driveway, I carefully climbed down from the roof, and they swiftly surrounded the house. Mark was detained, and the officers ensured my safety as they questioned him about the events that transpired. Turns out, he had slipped something into my drink with the intention of, well, I don't even want to think about it. The police arrested him on charges related to drugging and attempted assault, and I was left in shock, grappling with the reality of how close I had come to a dangerous situation. The aftermath has been a mix of emotions: relief, anger at myself for not being more cautious, and gratitude for the quick response of the police. My boyfriend has been incredibly supportive, and we're working through the aftermath of this horrifying encounter. So, guys, please, learn from my colossal mistake. Trust your instincts. Let someone know where you are, and never underestimate the potential dangers of inviting a stranger into your home. I'm counting my lucky stars today, and I hope my story serves as a stark reminder that the world of online dating can be a dark and unpredictable place. Stay safe out there. Today I messed up by going to a Tinder date's place. A night of horror. Hey guys, I need to share a bone-chilling experience that happened to me recently. It's a cautionary tale about the dangers of online dating that I never thought I'd have to tell. Buckle up, because this story is straight out of a nightmare. So, a few days ago, I matched with this girl on Tinder. Let's call her Sarah. We hit it off pretty well, exchanged a few messages, and decided to meet up. She suggested hanging out at her place, which, in hindsight, should have set off alarm bells, but I figured it was just a casual invitation. I arrive at Sarah's apartment, and she seems friendly enough at first. We chat, share a few laughs, and she suggests that we go to her room to watch a movie. Everything seemed normal until we stepped into her bedroom. As soon as the door closed behind us, Sarah's demeanor changed. She looked at me with this eerie intensity, and I felt a chill run down my spine. Before I could react, she started screaming at the top of her lungs. "Help! He's attacking me! Someone, please help!" I was dumbfounded, frozen in place, as the walls of the apartment seemed to close in on me. I could hear commotion from the living room, where her roommate presumably was, and panic set in. I tried to stammer out an explanation, telling her to stop, but she kept screaming as if her life depended on it. Within seconds, the bedroom door swung open, and her roommate burst in, wide-eyed and terrified. Sarah continued to scream, pointing at me and accusing me of assaulting her. I was caught in a surreal moment of horror, trying to comprehend what was happening. The roommate, without hesitation, pulled out his phone and dialed 911. I pleaded with them to listen, explaining that I had no idea what was going on and that I had just met Sarah for the first time. But my words fell on deaf ears as the roommate frantically described a violent scene that never happened. Minutes later, I found myself surrounded by police officers, their eyes scrutinizing every move I made. They separated us, and I gave my account of the evening, insisting that I had done nothing wrong. I felt a knot in my stomach, a mix of frustration and fear as they continued to question me. As the officer spoke with Sarah and her roommate, the truth began to unravel. It turned out that this was some twisted scheme to frame me for an assault that never occurred. The officers, realizing the deception, turned their attention towards Sarah, who suddenly shifted from a victim to a perpetrator. It was revealed that Sarah had orchestrated this elaborate ruse to frame me, perhaps seeking revenge or deriving some sick pleasure from the chaos she had created. The motives were unclear, but the horror of the situation lingered. I was thankfully released without charges, but the emotional scars of that night run deep. The trust I once had in the seemingly innocent act of meeting someone from a dating app has been shattered. I can't shake the feeling of vulnerability, the realization that you can never truly know someone's intentions. So, guys, let this be a chilling reminder to stay vigilant in the world of online dating. Trust your instincts. Be cautious about private encounters, and never underestimate the potential dangers that can lurk behind a seemingly friendly invitation. I never thought I'd find myself in a situation like this, and I hope my story serves as a stark warning for anyone navigating the murky waters of Tinder. Stay safe out there. Today I messed up by swiping right on a Tinder pyromaniac. Hey all. I never thought I'd be sharing a story like this. But after a Tinder encounter gone horribly wrong, I need to get it off my chest. It's a chilling reminder that sometimes the people you meet online can be far from who they appear to be. So, a few weeks ago, I matched with this guy on Tinder. Let's call him Ryan. Initially, he seemed like a cool, laid-back guy with a good sense of humor. We chatted for a bit, and decided to meet up at a local coffee shop. Little did I know I was about to stumble into a nightmare. Our initial conversation was casual, filled with laughs and shared interests. Ryan seemed like the kind of guy I could see myself getting along with. But as the conversation deepened, he dropped a bombshell that sent shivers down my spine. In the midst of discussing past relationships, Ryan nonchalantly mentioned that he once set his ex-girlfriend's house on fire. My jaw practically hit the floor as he described it like he was talking about a prank gone wrong. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. As the gravity of his admissions sank in, I probed further, trying to understand the context or any semblance of remorse. Instead, he brushed it off with a disturbing smirk, saying something about getting back at her for breaking up with him. I was sitting across from someone who not only had a dark past, but seemed proud of it. Panic set in, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I needed to distance myself from this person immediately. Feeling increasingly uneasy, I made an excuse about needing to leave and practically sprinted away from that coffee shop. Once at a safe distance, I blocked Ryan on Tinder and tried to put the encounter out of my mind. However, the fear didn't end there. Over the next few days, I received a barrage of messages from a new anonymous number. The texts were cryptic and filled with unsettling details about my personal life, leading me to believe that Ryan had somehow found me outside of the app. Terrified, I reported the incidents to the police, who advised me to be vigilant and take precautions. It felt like I was living in a horror movie, where a seemingly innocent Tinder date had turned into a real-life nightmare. As the days passed, the messages escalated, taking on an increasingly threatening tone. Ryan seemed fixated on the idea that we were meant to be together, and I became paranoid about my safety. I changed my locks, varied my daily routine, and even considered seeking a restraining order. Finally, after weeks of torment, the messages stopped. I never heard from Ryan again, and I felt a profound sense of relief. But the trauma of that encounter lingers, a haunting reminder that the line between a harmless Tinder date and a dangerous individual can be dangerously thin. So, everyone, consider this a cautionary tale. Trust your instincts and be wary of the people you meet online. If a Tinder date casually admits to arson, run for the hills. The world of online dating can be unpredictable, and sometimes the monsters don't hide under the bed. They're sitting across from you at the coffee shop. Stay safe out there. This has been a TLC recording. Thank you for listening, and please be sure to subscribe.